Last session. Lots of combat, lots of fighting. The session began with the Forest Gremlins racing towards Torm's Bridge in an effort to assist the lone fire genasi Hellrider in combat against multiple bearded and spined devils. While he was knocked unconscious before the Gremlins were able to bring all the heat off of him, you were successful in dealing with all the devils and bringing the fire genasi and some of the Hellriders that he had been trying to save back from the brink of death. You all learned that the fire genasi was General Anatole leader of the Hellriders. You all brought the group of civilians that you had been, what do you call it? Escorting, I guess, an escort mission through El Terrell back to the hideout of most of the Hellriders, it seems, are in the city. This required the crossing of Torm's Bridge, and despite her fear of heights, Aeris was able to successfully cross with the help of her friends. Upon arriving at the hideout, the Gremlins made several surprising discoveries, including that the High Hall had been overtaken and that Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard was MIA. On a more personal note, Aeris learned that General Anatole Brandt is her father. As we pick up with our session today, you had all just finished introducing yourself to the General, and with the last one being Aeris introducing herself, there was this moment that I think Aeris definitely noticed. Spark out here.
That one.
Spark's
too focused on the wreckage.
Out. Yeah, Spark's staring at a wall, real tired. And I think for once in his life, Pip might have noticed something. Just slightly, though. He's not sure what to make of it. Nefira also knows there's something going on over there between whatever Aeris and the general in their conversation. So yeah, as you kind of step back, Aeris, I think you said that you took like a few steps back after this realization that he recognized your last name. And as you see, kind of, you step back, he sees you step back, you see just a whirlwind of a person come, like, flying into the room. A human female with dark skin. She has a wave of curly, dark brown hair, and half the side of her head is shaved. She's wearing very similar armor to Anatole, with that blood red surcoat and plate armor, and also has quite a few of the, like, more decorative medals and cords that you could all assume means she is someone else who is high up in the Hellriders. And you see she comes kind of like straight through where you had just stepped back, right up to Anatole. She is like 5 foot, maybe. And he is like 6'4". So she comes right up to him, and you see, like, she just steps in front of you, and she's like, "You look like fucking shit. You need to get down to medical right now. Where have you been?" And she's like, "Do you know how..." She just, like, lays into him, like, "Do you know how nervous we all were? We've already lost so many people." And you can see he's, like, taking a step back. It's like,
Aeris is gonna put her hand on this woman's shoulder and say, "Excuse me, we weren't done here."
Oh, shit. All right. Give me
immediately into it.
Yeah.
So Nefira's going to come up and just flank Aeris.
Okay.
Like,
wow. We're all gonna start a fight with the Hellriders. Okay.
Spark noticing this, tuning in, not sure why he's gonna join in as well.
Okay.
The whiz game coming through. So,
yeah. Let's see. I guess. Are you trying to be intimidating, or what's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me,
Sure.
Give me
I'll be a little intimidating.
Yeah, let's do that.
Give me that.
Because
check.
Nefira knows, parent issues. So.
All right. Is someone giving me advantage?
I got a 17.
Yeah, you have advantage.
The whole
from
crew.
group
Thank you.
situation.
Ooh, we have advantage? Cool.
Oh God.
No.
No, my first roll is
bad.
better.
Aeris just can't be scary. I got a 9.
Well, I got a 17, so.
So Nefira's like mean, like the mean little dog on the side. Like, I'm gonna fuck you, I'm gonna get you inside
Hold on,
of
hold on.
Aeris.
Minnie,
as
Minnie,
you were,
stop.
like,
Just
Don't
take out a
cut that off.
dagger, start like
Mhm.
twirling it in my,
Yeah.
my fingers.
Man, this room just has the smallest people as the most intimidating.
Right. But yeah, you get back to my stuff. As you kind of put your hand on her shoulder, and you see that she turns and sees both of you. There's a slight reflex of just someone who is a warrior, of getting a hand put on your shoulder and like a slight reflex to go to start a fight. But you see she composes herself quickly. It's like, oh, who are you all? I don't recognize you.
We're the
Civilians? Force gremlins. And you see at this point, Anatole kind of like puts his hands up. You have a feeling he often has to calm situations with whoever this is. And you see he goes, Zaffa, please, let me talk to you off to the side. Things may have gotten a bit more complicated. And as she kind of crosses her arms and glares at all of you, in between...
Glares back.
Yeah, in between...
spark waves.
Spark!
We have to be fun.
That was me. Stop being so nice.
I love it. You see that she...
I'm still riding that nat 1. He has no idea why this is happening.
Let me do a little roll for her as she looks between Aeris and the group. Where are my dice? You know, should have got those out. I forget that as a DM I sometimes have to roll when it's not combat. Yeah, let's see. Okay. You see she takes a step back and looks between she looks at all of you as you are a eclectic group. One of you's waving, one of you's twirling a dagger. I don't know what Pip's doing, but he's standing there. And you see she looks to Anatole and back to Aeris, and just goes, "Fine, we'll talk upstairs." And she heads off without saying anything more to you all. And you see Anatole turns to you. And at this point, you can see he is exhausted. He was quite injured during the fight. You don't know. He looks like he has bags under his eyes. He's not looking great, and he looks like he's getting worse as by the minute. He's like, I'm incredibly sorry about that. Zaffa's a good fighter, but she has a lot of fire. Surprisingly, she would have been a fantastic fire genasi. But please, I will be back. Let me take care of this before. And he looks to Aeris and Nefira before one of you decides to start a fight. I don't think we need any of that here. So please, excuse me. And turns and heads off. Actually, Aeris, Tate, your camera is very laggy. Do you want to try to rejoin?
Give me a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read.
Yeah, it's red. I don't know why.
Also gonna check my internet.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was my screen just cast in red or something?
No, there's so I have
It will stay on frame for a few seconds and then move for 5 seconds, then hold on whatever frame it ends on with those 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I can see everyone's internet connection.
Better now?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's reading green. So let me.
Oh, yeah, let me know if that happens again, because I couldn't see anything weird on my end. So
yeah. Okay, I think everyone else's is good as well. So yeah, we will cut that out, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'll forget. It's in the beginning. It's 11 minutes in. But yeah.
Just me taking a photo of Minnie that I almost have want to be like, hey, put this in at the bottom photo rotation.
Yeah.
I need to check
Minnie's
before.
face in my face for a bit.
But yeah.
Listen, Minnie has record bombed enough times where I'm sure people were like, so what's the cat look like?
Yeah. Let me open this beer. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna cut all this out. All right, fuck it.
Wait so you remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay. And if it stays in, well, you know, that's D&D. But yeah, you just had this really kind of tense moment with Zafa, this human female that you gather somewhere in the hierarchy of the Hellriders. And as she turns and heads up the kind of wooden stairs that is in this townhome, or former townhome that's now turned into like a medical center hideout situation, you see Anatole excuses himself and kind of limps, kind of like grabbing his shoulder and hip as he heads a little slower than. Definitely a lot slower than she was, but slower than you would expect, makes his way up the stairs. You see he kind of pauses right at the start of the stairs like he's going to say something, but then he keeps heading up the stairs. And so the four of you are left not alone at all. There's constantly people streaming in and out, going downstairs, going to some of the other rooms, but you are left in the kind of the main entryway, if you will, or main room of this townhome, with Spark out here just none the wiser, no clue what's going on, and why Aeris and Nefira almost just picked a fight with some Hellriders.
Did you bring that up, Mads? Because Spark's gonna turn to them and say, so what did they do to cause the animosity? Or aggravation?
We're in the middle of a conversation. A very important conversation. Aeris's eyes are glowing a little bit. She's really frustrated.
Okay.
Right now.
I think I missed something.
Normally, I'm all for, like, hey, guy like that, you know, get him the medical attention and everything, but I'm with Aeris on this one. I'm gonna stay with Aeris, whatever she wants to do about this whole situation.
Okay, I clearly am missing something. Care to fill me in?
I just need some more answers. I haven't completed my investigation yet. She's cast Mage Hand and her Mage Hand is furiously taking some notes behind her. If there's a place to sit down, she's just gonna like stalk over there and sulk for a bit.
Yeah, there's it looks like, you know, there's a center table that has a map of El Terrell, kind of, you could see hand sketched, but decently, from what you can tell, pretty detailed, probably from memory, but of people who have lived here for most, if not all of their life. But all the chairs and everything that would have been around this table, every seating kind of situation has been pushed back against the walls, so there are places to sit. It's just kind of off and out of the main way. So yeah, you can absolutely head on over there and finish taking your notes. So as Aeris kind of has that moment and moves herself off to the side, what's everyone else doing? Pip, Spark, Nefira?
I don't know.
He would probably trail and position himself to be easily found, but to make it so it would be hard for anybody to come and bother Aeris.
All right.
Nefira will probably be close as well.
Sounds good. What's Pip up to?
I feel like after the whole introduction thing, and then he like noticed and everything, lost interest in the conversation. Because this is not like his vibe. This isn't his like his setting. So he's just like not listening, looking around, kind of, and then like he's like thinking, and he turns and he's like, "Hey, Aeris, do you think where'd Aeris go, guys?"
If Spark notices Pip looking confused, he'll try to like wave at him. Mads, question: where's Lulu during all of this?
Lulu has been kind of just floating, or hovering, if you will, near you all, kind of staying up and out of the way as much as possible. She's not, super large. She's maybe like 2 feet.
Something we all keep forgetting, that she is, I think, like you've described, the size of a medium dog.
Yeah, she's like a medium to small flying dog, essentially. And that is also one thing that she is very easily kind of blends into the background. You've noticed now that, like, oftentimes if you're not like directly looking at her, there seems to be a little bit of your brain that forgets that she's there until you look back, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, she was there the whole time, right? It's this kind of weird thing where when you're not directly looking at her, kind of leaves your brain a little bit. And yeah.
That's
very, very suspicious.
I
don't know how I feel about that. I feel suspicious.
What are you talking about? It's fine. She's fine.
God, I'm trying to remember that Doctor Who monster, the electric... Huh?
The silence?
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Listen, I blocked a lot of the Stephen Moffat seasons from my memory.
But yeah, she was kind of there, just hovering nearby, out of the way as much as possible, as a flying creature just being in the middle of the room is inconvenient for people to walk through. So she's kind of been against the wall, or and as you all kind of settle over near these chairs, she does come with you and actually land beside one of the chairs and kind of just sit there, and you can tell she's looking around and observing everything that's happening, but she hasn't reached out or talked to anyone yet. She's kind of just keeping to herself.
Does Pip see Spark wave him down to be like, hey, we're
Absolutely.
over here now?
Yeah. Pip's used to finding his tall friend and being like, oh, there you are. Oh, yeah, okay.
Just a little jog over to you.
Yeah, Pip has to like duck around some people that come, some like Hellriders that come rushing through the center area off to another room.
He's used to that.
Yeah.
Weaving through people.
Quick feet on the little guy, so.
He knows what to do.
Oh my god. Taking your inspiration away. You no longer have it. No.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, so don't forget that you all still have inspiration from the end of last session. You can mark it.
Don't I get a warning?
What does that do? What does having inspiration do?
You can re-roll a d20 at any time.
Ooh, nice.
And then use whichever is higher. So. But yeah.
So basically, there's
a... How long does that last?
It's just once, but it lasts until you use it. So it's just basically a free redo if you end up, rolling a nat 1 and then a nat 2, and you were like, anything but that. So.
It's for a, man, I can't fail this roll.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try again.
Yeah. This is for really important rolls, but yeah.
We can also only hold one in case there's somehow a situation where we get it again.
Yeah, which I don't know.
I'm still surprised we managed to get all those civilians who are alive.
Yeah, that was cool.
But yeah, as you all are in this corner, and Aeris is taking these notes, you all are resting, actually feeling like you might be able to breathe for half a second, as there are a lot of people here and a lot of skilled fighters, it seems. So this is probably the safest place you're going to find in Elturel at the moment. Yeah.
Spark will kind of turn to Aeris and try to communicate to her, like, hey, Beaton, we should probably talk about something, without intentionally interrupting her.
Yeah.
She's still just furiously going at her notes.
Does Aeris notice this, or is she too busy? Give me a perception check. Let's see if you notice and you could choose what to do with that, or if you're too thinking.
I got a. That's not the page I was looking for. 11.
I would say you probably notice Spark moving, but you think he might just be like getting comfortable or moving around to talk to someone else. You don't notice that he is actively trying to be like, hey, we should have a conversation here. Yeah. So yeah, Spark. Aeris does not seem to notice that you would like to have a conversation.
Right, you're too subtle about trying to get secret conversations with your friends.
No, you keep trying to have secret conversations, and it does not work.
Spark needs to take message.
Honestly,
he needs to find some way to take it.
I was about to say, I don't think he can multi-class into wizard. And multi-classing into sorcerer is always kind of a funky experience. Talk to the DM.
Just a paladin druid wizard.
You should just nudge Nefera, because I also keep forgetting. But Nefera has message.
Nefera does have message.
Right, I'm standing right next to Spark, so kind of hiding in your shadow.
I guess whatever's on her mind is very important. So she is not looking away from that notebook.
Mm.
Pip, Nefera, how are you two doing?
Okay.
I made it here alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little tired. But it'd been worse.
Hopefully we won't have any buildings fall on us again.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a fun trek.
Mm-hmm. No.
Also, just as a reminder, Nefera, no one knows you have a soul coin.
Oh,
if you care to, let anyone know. If not, but just so you know.
Why bring this up now? Is it?
No, I'm just saying.
If I don't?
No, I'm just saying because I figured you might have forgotten. It's been a little while since that session.
Yeah. I haven't really had a chance to mention it since then.
Spark totally. I'm just asking the people who actually take detailed notes. My memory is Spark totally missed that the imp was yelling something at Nefera and tried to steal the necklace, right?
Oh, I think.
I know that Aeris didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody understood what it meant, but you mentioned that Lulu prodded in its mind, but I don't think Spark's the one who would be able to ask, like, hey, Lulu, what was that imp screeching about?
Yeah, I think Aeris noticed. Aeris or Pip might have noticed.
And I remember
because Pip grabbed the necklace.
Pip was right there.
Yeah, and Pip ended up grabbing the necklace.
Pip probably noticed.
I know Pip noticed.
Pip noticing things.
And I remember asking if, with my roll, if it was high enough for if you would be able to repeat it essentially as close as they could, and you said yes.
Yeah. So
would Nefera
so that's
bring
also
this up to the group now that we have 10 minutes to breathe?
Oh, hey, Spark, by the way, how's your Infernal coming along?
I haven't studied it any more than that first time.
Okay,
maybe I'll take a look at it tonight?
Yeah.
Since there is lots of screeching on that battlefield.
Yeah, and there's this one demon. It tried to take my necklace. Well, it took my necklace, but we
got it back.
We got it back. Thanks, guys.
Spark leans down to offer Pip a high five.
Yeah.
Delayed. Can't fix that in post.
But they were talking about it and pointing at it and talking to each other as they tried to take it. So I'm still really worried about the necklace because what it's doing, and everything. Still don't trust it, especially after this. I can sort of maybe repeat what they said, but I don't understand what they said. Do you think you'd be able to translate any of it if I was able to
Maybe.
say it?
Pip, you have the book, right?
The book?
Yeah, let's look
The
through the book.
Infernal for Adventurers. I think Pip's the one holding it.
Let me see. Let me check my notes.
Pip can be the one holding it. Pip likes books. It would make sense.
Maybe between Pip and I, we can look through that book quickly to try to get a ballpark of what they were talking about.
Actually, I don't think that he would have it because he's been like occupied the last 2 times that y'all have had study sessions.
So actually, Spark might have it.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, Spark. Well,
Spark has it. That's what we'll say. Oh, there it is. I forgot.
Oh, I forgot I put this back in my bag after that last rest. Pip, you're probably better at quickly looking through books.
Yeah, I can
I'll
do it.
help you skim through it. All right, Nefira, please try to replicate that sound.
Alright,
Yeah.
Spark pauses like,
I don't-
maybe quietly or
yeah.
in our
Yeah.
heads through your magic.
Yeah, I got that message.
Oh, wait.
From, I haven't even
Put it
tried
through-
it yet.
Put it through Pip's head and he can relay me in like he's done before.
Yeah.
I can.
Telephone conference me in, guys. Put me on
I mean,
the
I can
line.
always like do the telepathic link with the fear, and then they can message you, maybe.
Yeah, because I haven't tried message yet. I
And
forgot
Pip will
that
hear it
you taught me
as
that spell.
he remembers it. If it's through telepathy, yeah, try that.
Okay, let's try this. How does message work? Okay.
You just point and say stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you just
I
point
will
and say stuff in a wire and
point and just whisper out my best rendition of the infernal screeching.
You do not hear anything in your head. Whoever you are pointing at. You have the necklace on.
I think the necklace stops you from using that spell.
Oh,
Since I
because
am
those things?
hearing nothing.
okay, yeah.
That's
I-
actually important to know.
Yeah. So Nefira will take the necklace off.
Mads, why did you give Nefira this necklace? It's one of her 2 cantrips.
Look,
I know!
maybe I also forgot you had message, alright? I don't know. Maybe Nefira's never used it.
I haven't. This is my first time using the spell.
I should have just really sat with it and been like, you can't hear anything, and not given you anything why you couldn't. Be like, you don't know what's happening. Should.
We don't know why the spell fizzled. It's not like we have a magical scholar with us.
Nope.
Okay. I'll take the necklace off
Great.
and oh boy. Just set it down within quick grabbing distance. And we'll repeat the process.
Awesome. So Pip, and are you messaging Pip or Spark?
Who's looking at the book?
Pip's looking.
I think it's Pip. Yeah.
Okay.
Sparks
I will-
over his shoulders to like
Assist.
give him advantage.
Yeah.
So
I figure he
will-
can't staff guidance and
both. I'll do
assist.
both. I will message Pip, and then I will just do it again and message Spark right after.
Awesome. So yeah, you both hear message this a very base attempt at infernal come through. So yeah, Pip, go ahead and give me that investigation roll. I believe it should be at advantage.
Let's go. Why do I always look? I know exactly. Yes.
Best to double check, you know?
All right. 17 plus 8. is a number.
20. Was it 25?
The lower number was 11. So
All right.
so-
Thank goodness for that
19 at least.
advantage.
no, the first roll was a 17, but ow, doesn't ever hurt.
I don't know. Weird. Well, that's gonna stink for me. I dropped my D4 somewhere.
Oh.
Oh
Something to worry about at the bathroom break.
All right. So, Pip,
Or Minnie will find it first.
what you do gather from just kind of the broken infernal that Nefira has said, you get like the word safety or shielded mind kind of smushed together. And with that high roll, you also can piece together a little bit of. It was almost like Nefira had cut off like the middle of a word on both sides. And so you're able to figure out what both of those words probably were also. And you get that it's either safety from or safety for archdevils and shielded minds. You're not sure if it is
or from. Oh dear.
or from archdevils, but you do
That's
gather.
a big difference.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Kind
little
of
bit.
important
It's a
distinction.
little bit of a big difference, but that
Man,
is
if
what
only
you
we
get.
had, if only one of us, if
Only
only we
spoke
weren't,
infernal, you know.
if only we weren't all so wrapped up in our whole childhood friend backstory thing that most of us burnt one of our known languages on Halfling to be like, yeah, this makes sense. This is in character. This is gonna be cute and fun.
Yep.
What do you mean we know exactly what we signed up for?
I was this close to playing my tiefling. This close. And then y'all brought up the one-shot thing, and then now I'm Pip.
But yeah, that is what you can translate with that roll.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure. If this is from or for. But something along those lines. Something about safety from or for archdevils. Pretty
That's
big
a very
difference,
good thing.
but
Very large distinction there, Pip.
a little, yeah. Since I was right there, can I like do like a history or anything to see if I remember anything, even though I don't understand anything, or because I don't understand, I won't remember.
Sorry, a history of
Of what was
Pip's
said.
trying to see if he remembered any of
He
the
probably
infernal
won't, though.
screeches.
So good.
you
From
can
them
try.
talking.
You could try. It will just be a pretty high DC.
Yeah.
Roll another nat 20. Let's go. Let's start our nat 20 train again.
It was a nat 16 plus 8.
Okay, that's not terrible. As you're, trying to recall, there was a lot of screeching, a lot of sound, and again, that entire combat took place over maybe 45 seconds. So again,
D&D.
yeah, again, like it was a lot happening, and so there's nothing you can really recall that would be more than what Nefira had managed to repeat and you had managed to piece together. So yeah,
Just making sure.
you're looking for a name, looking for them saying a name.
I wasn't, but you brought that up just now. So am I?
You don't know. Your infernal's not that good. You can't tell what's.
I was looking
what's
for
a
if I
devil's
could remember
name
what word sounded like this from for thing, but that's a
Yeah.
whole different thing.
But yeah.
So, does this mean the necklace is working as described, and those imps, was it, wanted it to either offer to somebody higher up the chain or keep them safe from somebody higher up the chain?
Yeah, either.
So I guess we can take this as the necklace is working as intended. It's just the question of who gave it to you and how?
I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if I should put this back on right now. It's kind of really freaking me out a lot.
It hasn't hurt you so far, and it's pretty good,
but
especially when we sleep. But
maybe
I wish it. All right. Guess I'll put it back on for now, at least.
maybe keep it in your bag and sleep on it. See how you feel in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sleeping without it seems mildly dangerous, but yeah.
I mean, we haven't had an issue since Pip thinks it's linked to send into a sister.
True. I just don't really like those implications either, but okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's something to work on once we get back to the prime material plane.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll just Nifir will probably just stick it in her pocket for now.
Okay.
Like, we'll just do that for now. And if something happens, well, it happens. Alright.
Spark will look to see if Aeris is still deeply invested in whatever notes she is taking.
Yeah.
Since he doesn't want to interrupt.
Aeris, as all of this other book situation is happening, I imagine you all were kind of being a little more hush, especially because you did just pull out a infernal necklace and flip through a book about infernal for beginners and start talking about it. So I imagine you're already talking a little hush to not draw any attention to your group. But yeah, Aeris, what is Aeris thinking about as she's writing furiously with Mage Hand and sitting over here?
Yeah, she's thinking about. Oh, there are a few things she's thinking about. She's really mad at. I don't remember the human's name, and she doesn't remember either because no one cares about her.
Method acting.
Your dad does, but
method acting. Don't fucking care.
Don't unpack that.
She's frustrated at her for interrupting the conversation, and she's upset that her dad left, and she feels hurt because she wants answers. But also part of her is like, we had really important information we needed to tell the general, and that woman just interrupted that too. And she kind of wants to impress her dad and is like a little worried that he's okay. But is also mad at him for leaving because right now, I think at this point, like she's kind of like her anger's calmed down and now she's just really feeling hurt. Like she had her like hands on the table and like, if she were to take up her hands, they're just little scorch marks of her fists in the table. And she's just thinking about what she had in her nightmare literally this past night of
that was last
night. No one will
in
ever
universe.
put you first. And she's like, wow, my dad just did not put me first right now by going to heal his wounds instead of talk to me.
Good. You know how you were like, oh yeah, Aeris is a fire genasi, but like we haven't seen the real fire genasi side of her. It's coming out. Let me tell you, this is
Well, my dad wasn't around to teach me how to do it, so I just know how to be a half elf. Thank you.
You're gonna learn by watching him, even if it's at a distance.
Aeris, you're having all these thoughts. You're kind of like, flipping your pages, scribbling. It's a good thing your pages are a little coded to not catch fire when you're upset.
Yeah, you probably had to figure that out pretty early on.
Yeah, just ruin all of your notes in a fit of rage.
I'm just imagining like Matt said, 5th grade Aeris panically taking notes, only for the whole notebook to go up in flame in the middle of class.
That probably happened.
Oh no.
Oh, that definitely happened.
And her tears were more over the fact that she liked that notebook.
Yeah!
Since, a little kid would cry at that.
Oh, she would have been so upset that her tears would have just evaporated.
But yeah, as you are taking these notes, I'd say, and you all are kind of taking a breather, drinking from whatever water skins you have with you. As you all like take this moment to rest, probably 15 or so minutes go by, and you hear footsteps come down the stairs. And you see that the human, Zafa, comes down the stairs first. She glances in all of your direction, and you can see there is something... Spark, do you wave?
Yeah.
Spark wave again. Amazing. Wonderful.
Disarm him with kindness. That's what he does.
Yep. You see she looks over, and there's this look of... there's just a look on her face. It's not anger. She's not upset. There's just a look of recognition or acknowledgement of your group. Spark, you wave at her. That does catch her off guard. Then her face immediately is like, and she like almost instinctively goes to like raise her hand, but then thinks better of it. Just gives a little nod, and you see continues down and moves back into where Aeris you had seen. You'd kind of like listened in on the conversation with the general before. She moves back into there where it looks to be more of like a planning room, and starts talking with some other people, and you all lose sight of her as she turns the corner. And about a minute or so later, you hear very slow footsteps, kind of like a limp, if you will.
Limp?
Yep. I was like, what is that called? A limp, if you will, as you see Anatole reappear down the stairs, and he makes his way slowly over to where you all are sitting down. Some of you are kind of injured, right? You definitely all of you are.
Aeris at 12.
I think Nefira is the one who's in best shape.
Potions.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm at
24.
So yeah, you see he comes over limping more, it appears, as time goes on. You imagine the adrenaline is wearing off from fighting, and he's quite injured. And as he comes
Stairs probably don't help.
Yeah,
no, stairs are awful.
Spark, seeing this, would walk up to him and offer him a shoulder.
You see he kind of takes your shoulder. It's like, as he walks up to you all, well, I'm incredibly sorry about Zafa earlier. I'm headed to the infirmary, as hopefully that will get her off my back, and you all look like you could use some medical attention as well, if not just some rest, so we could perhaps all head down that way.
Yes, Spark will try it again. Spark is like, we have a lot to talk about once we all have a few minutes to take a breath. We have some information on some of the stuff that's happened on the prime material plane since the city got dragged here.
Yeah, I don't think we got a chance to mention that we weren't in El Terrell when it went down.
We're not from here.
That is a fair point. I don't think we mentioned that.
No, that is... yes, then apparently we do have a lot to talk about. Well, let's go see Darcy. We can get some of our wounds taken care of and talk as necessary. And you see Spark, he starts to walk, if you will assist him.
He keeps assisting.
All right, great.
Spark kind of looks over his shoulder to see if Lulu's following them.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks he can actually manage this with Lulu. He holds eye contact to see if she'll ping in his head. One of these days it will work for him. He's trying to actually have tact and not just blurt out some information that could cause panic.
No, I rolled a 2.
He just sighs.
Lulu,
and
Lulu looks and is like, "Oh yeah, I'll follow," but doesn't get the talk to me in my head part of that situation.
Spark just sighs, and he's just like, maybe I need to ask Pip. He thinks to himself, maybe I need to ask Pip how he does that mental link thing. After all,
Yeah. As you, I would guess, Spark and Anatole, you kind of go first, kind of helping him down the stairs. It is a little tight. You two are big guys trying to go down some of these steps towards what is more of like a basement area. What is Pip and Nefira and Aeris doing as the two of them start to maneuver? You can see Lulu kind of flutters up and gets ready to follow as well.
Well, Nefira will turn to Aeris and say, "You do need medical attention, so come on."
I'm fine.
No, you're not. You're not fine. And you know you're not fine. So, come on.
Aeris is gonna...
We're literally in hell right now. There are so many demons out there. Can we please just take advantage of the fact that we actually have access to medical care for like 5 minutes, please? You have no idea what we're going to be facing out there as soon as we leave this place.
Listen, that is probably going to be the quote for the remainder of the campaign.
We are literally in hell.
First layer.
Aeris is gonna sigh and just follow Nefira, because she's trying to look tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Classic Aeris.
We can do this.
And she's gonna actually have Vesper hang outside the door by the meeting area.
Oh, just intelligence gathering.
Because I want to know what's going on in there. I don't know how much I'm gonna have, like how much Vesper's gonna be able to remember. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to like phase it and to hear what's going on. But
Cool. So Vesper, in order to not be suspicious, it starts walking. Just like along the edge of the wall, because a bird flying indoors is way more suspicious apparently than she's like a pigeon. You know how pigeons just like walk into grocery stores? That's what she's doing. Yeah. She's just like walking along the edge of the wall, and then just kind of hops up onto a chair and sits there. And yeah, blends in, nicely with the wall.
Nefira will turn to Aeris and before we go in there, just however you want to play this with him, I got your back. I'm on your side in this.
Thank you.
I love that Spark went ahead, so he still is not part of this conversation and has no idea still.
No clue.
We're making that net one insight check last as long as possible.
Apparently.
Beautiful.
But yeah. What's Pip? Do you end up following Nefira and Aeris? Do you end up following Nefira down the stairs after this? This stop it. Get medical help. We are in hell. What's Pip doing? Is Pip following them as well?
Yeah, he's gonna follow them. Yeah. Does he see Vesper walking?
Yeah.
Okay. So he starts following them, sees that, kind of like watches. And then like remembers, and then catches up to them.
Yeah, it's weird. Vespers just birds don't they don't walk very gracefully.
So
he's only ever seen a few walking birds in his life, and he doesn't want to think about those.
Chickens.
Well, this isn't too chicken-like, so he's fine.
But yeah, as you all head down these stairs, you see Lulu follows behind you, flying behind you, and coming around the corner, you all see about 10 or so makeshift I guess you could call them cots. It's really just like blankets on the ground with more blankets balled up for pillows. You see that there are several Hellriders that are laid out on these makeshift cots, along with a few civilians as well. Spark, you see two of the Hellriders that you had helped bring from the bridge that were in very bad condition. And as you all round the corner, you see that this, a young half-elf, had silvery blue hair. She's wearing also the red surcoat of the Hellriders, but a lot of her armor seems to be missing, like pieces of it, or they're dented. You see that she's over one of the Hellriders, who looks to be on death's door. She's trying her hardest to save him. You see that there's her hands are kind of shaking, and when she looks up to see more people come down the stairs, you can see that there are tears stained down her face. As she's trying to cast Healing Word, Spark, you know this spell, and you see that it kind of fizzles, and you can tell that it is not actually casting. You're not sure if it's because the person isn't able to be healed, or if there's something with the actual magic that's happening, but you can see a panic on her face. And as you all come down the stairs, you see another man in the corner kind of leans over and starts coughing up blood, and she throws a worried glance in his direction. It appears she's the only one down here attempting to heal all these, or keep all these people alive. As Spark, as you go down the steps, and you see this person coughing, you feel Anatole kind of pull off your shoulder and kind of nudge you in the direction of the person who is just coughing up blood as he kind of slumps against the wall.
Spark will rush over to him and put a point of lay on hands on him. Like, this should help stabilize you.
You see he just keeps coughing, but slowly his breath steadies, and his eyes kind of flutter open for a second before they roll back in his head. He is stable, but back unconscious.
And Spark will look over at the person, says, like, I'm running on fumes too, but I can at least assist with first aid.
Please, I don't know what to do. My magic's not working. Yeah, as you do you come up beside her with this person?
Yep, and he'll try lay on hands on the person another point. He's gonna zero himself out real fast, but
yeah. Go ahead.
They actually mark the two that he's currently used.
Go ahead and give me a religion check as you attempt to use your lay on hands.
18.
18. You see that as you go to lay on hands, you feel kind of this surge of magic through you, but you also feel a stinging on your chest. And looking down, you see that a slight crack has formed in your holy symbol on your chest. You can see now, looking up at her, she's also wearing kind of off the side of her, just like a side belt, a cracked holy symbol of what looks to be a Bahamut. She sees you go to grab, and she just kind of gives you a knowing nod, and a thank you.
Let's try to use mundane methodology. I fear we might be pulled in too hard from the powers gifted to us.
You know, when you can heal with magic, you don't always learn really the most basic of first aid.
I only know the bare bone basics too. Hopefully,
wonderful.
Between the two of us, we can help each other.
Fantastic.
No.
I'm Darcy. Do you need medical help? I think everyone's as stable as they're going to be for right now. And you see, as she turns to look at the rest of you, as, 5 more people just came down the stairs into this pretty cramped, and It's not a good. It smells like sickness and blood. You know, the smell of like death is close by. And you see that she turns and notices that the general with you all and how injured, and clocks how injured everyone is.
They need it more than me, so let's start working with your general first.
Right. And she's like, General, please, and just motions over to basically just like a chair. Just a wooden chair. And as he sits down, you see she rushes around and starts getting bandages and basic first aid stuff to patch up the wounds as he's slowly taking off this heavy plate armor. It's going to be 10 minutes, so, you know, y'all will be done with your conversation before that heavy armor comes off. But, yeah, so as Anatole is getting medical attention, you see he looks at you all as like, right, so please, you can speak openly in front of everyone here. What, you weren't in El Terrell when it got dragged here. How did you arrive? I'm guessing there's a lot to this story I am not aware of.
It's definitely a long story.
You see, he looks, as you say that, he looks at you as kind of gives the slightest, like, yep. My daughter of mine in hell.
Well, we all grew up in the same village, and okay, Pip, whenever we were kids, we found this box in the woods.
Pip. That actually is really relevant. Pip, continue. That's a good point. I thought you were just going to talk about us growing up together. You know, those are good times, but we have another time that we can talk about that.
What do you
mean? Does he go for a beer too?
Does what?
Does the general go for a beer in character?
Yeah. He's like, oh, where are the fucking beers? Where are the medical beers? You know,
I don't care if this is 100 proof.
Yeah. No, you see, he appears to be trying his best to take in and pay attention to everything as all of you are like talking at once and then be like, no, Pip, no. Wait, no, yeah, Pip. And he's like, oh, all right.
Anyways.
There's a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this box. And, well, we couldn't get it open, but then it got stolen from us, and then we all moved away. Not then, but, like, years later, whenever we were grown, and then we all, traced this box back to Baldur's Gate, and two of us lived there. Aeris lived there, too, and I didn't even know that she lived there, and I lived there for 2 years, and I didn't even know. But then we found each other again, and turns out that we had opened the box, but we just didn't remember, and...
Can I take the story from here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry, Aeris was really worried Pip was going to mention the murder of the Duke's son. So she was like, no, not right now.
And then we killed someone.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. I've killed a man before.
Technically, that was Zira.
Several.
Okay.
Technically, this is out of character.
Anyways. Yeah, so Aeris is going to pick up the story. Anyways, we conducted, I conducted a thorough investigation and stumbled across everyone else on my way who were all doing their own things, trying to find our box, and we were able to track it down. And that actually wasn't really relevant to the story because she's also leaving out the fact that they got blackmailed. Not sure why Pip brought that up, but...
Okay.
Anyways, I guess actually it is kind of relevant because on the path to finding our stolen treasure, we uncovered that one of the Dukes of Baldur's Gate was up to some really, really shady stuff. We did a thorough investigation and found some connections with Fabius Krieg, who I know is the leader of El Terrell. We found I don't know if you know Sabikas or Kamar or Fisk, but there was an infernal puzzle box that they believed had a contract between Krieg and a devil. And we were able to open the puzzle box, and the contract says, and she's going to read from her notes. It's from, that's actually the note. Be it known that I, Thavius Krieg, High Overseer of El Terrell, have sworn to Zariel. Oh, I was going to write the rest of it later, and I didn't. She basically just reads the contract to him, basically describing that El Terrell would be, after 50 years, I think, would be sent to Avernus, and that all the souls of all the Hellriders are forfeit, and that's why they're there. And then Aeris, I think, like, this is obviously a big bomb, but she still has more things to say, so she's going to keep going.
Yeah, when Aeris drops this bomb, Spark stops dead in his tracks, because the thing he was trying to be tactical about is, like, maybe we shouldn't lead with your leader sold you out in a public space with their injured. Like, all of these injured people have just heard, hey, your leader, he sold you out decades ago. Mm-hmm.
Aeris is going to keep going with, so Savikos suggested that Savikos and a bunch of wizards are getting people together to help rescue the city, and we were sent here to kind of scope things out and figure out what we could about how to get the city back, how to save the people, and we were coming up with a strategy to get everyone to the High Hall and see if we could contact the wizards to help evacuate people. But it sounds like the High Hall isn't there anymore.
You see, as you finish this statement, there is a very long, probably about a 45-second period of silence, where you see that Anatole is thinking, you see his brow kind of furrow, he's connecting things in his head. What you do notice is that Darcy, who's been helping, is not looking at any of you, just crying. She's just straight up crying while tending to his wounds. She is just like, nah, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that, but
Spark's actually gonna go helping Darcy insight check the rest of the conscious people in this room who heard that bombshell drop.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check as Darcy's crying and Anatole seems to be figuring out the next thing, very calculated the next thing to say.
Not high. 9 total. Never mind, he's too focused on the fact that the person in front of him is crying. He's like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Focus on this. Focus on this first. Tomorrow comes when tomorrow comes.
It's not gonna be okay.
Yeah. You see that Darcy just kind of like nods and is like, goes and just tries to laser focus the best like medical attention when she also doesn't know how to really wrap wounds. But you, as that is happening, you see Anatole speak up. So El Terrell was dragged to Avernus because of Thavius Krieg. That would explain why it would explain why he's not here.
Yeah, he was in Baldur's Gate.
And
I'm very good at my investigative work.
So he is in Baldur's Gate. Not sure why your Grand Duke was in El Terrell if he was not
here
meeting.
Because the Duke, Thalamra.
Yeah, get that name. The best name ever.
Was working with Krieg, and she sent him here because she planned to do the same thing to Baldur's Gate, so that she could become the Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate.
I see. All right. Let me just check one thing, and then
Aeris looks a little proud of herself.
Roll a percentile.
Case closed.
Roll a percentile for fraternal panic attack.
Right. Did you mention the fact that everyone who is a citizen of Elturel is also doomed. Would Aeris have mentioned that? Okay.
Aeris-
Yeah, no, she read the contract.
Yeah, okay.
Verbatim.
I don't have it in my notes, but she
Right.
has it all in her notes. So
So
she read the whole thing.
I'm just rereading that.
Checking if that is in the verbatim contract.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what was actually, obviously,
I
verbatim.
think Aeris was reading through the contract and got to that part and was like, oops, that's awkward.
Yep. So you see, as he's like finishing that thought of being betrayed and why your Duke is in Elturel. So everyone who lives in Elturel is doomed if they die to Zariel. And you see he looks at some of the Hellriders that are not looking so well, with the realization that they will be basically enslaved, their souls enslaved to Zariel should they die while here or anywhere. He's like, okay, this is... Surprisingly, I would say this is worse than what I thought the situation was only 2 days ago. So that's new. All right. He like goes to like move his arms, like right. Okay. I agree. Getting people, civilians out. I mean, it would be good to do that, but if we do not fix this contract and get the actual city out of Avernus, I don't think it will matter. People could just die of old age, even back on the material plane, and their souls would still be bound to Zariel.
But it would give us more time.
It would, for sure.
Spark kind of chimes in and is like, oh, I interpreted that line of the contract as they are going to be hand-delivered to you so you can grab them, not, oh, that is a reading of it.
So, yes, I guess, thank you for informing me of the situation. Having the full picture now, I guess I'll give you a little bit more of what's happening here. You see Darcy's like, lift your arm up. And he's like, okay. And so he lifts his arm up so she can start dealing with the massive chest wound of getting a glaive through the chest. He's like, okay. So, only until maybe a few days ago...
Get taken care of before you move.
A few days ago, the Grand Duke and I were doing our best to try and make the High Hall our final stand. I knew that there were a lot of people that still could not cross the bridges, as it was a major choke point, and the devils knew that. The only reason we're remotely okay as it is because currently there are demons that are also attempting to invade Elturel right now, and the devils and demons notoriously don't get along, and so have been distracted enough by that for the past week or so. But I am assuming within the past 6 to 10 hours, the High Hall had been overrun. We haven't had a chance to go there and do any reconnaissance. You see he kind of like looks around at the plate mail that he has put to the ground. Many of the Hellriders are knights or paladins. They're not the sneakiest bunch. It's like, we haven't had a chance to actually see what has happened at the High Hall, see how many devils are there. But we were before I made such a foolish journey out attempting to plan a siege, and I believe that plan is still going to go forth. The quicker we can get inside, the quicker we can see if the Grand Duke is still alive and what our next step should be.
Spark will kind of look at him and is like, how long do you think it would take most of the people in this room to recover by sleep?
He looks around. I think, honestly, other than us here, I think most of these people will not be in any form of fighting condition. It would be, frankly, death to send them into a siege. But there are plenty of Hellriders, and you all have seen there have been a ton of other Hellriders. You're not sure exact number. They are wearing uniforms, and that makes it hard to keep track. But maybe upwards of 15 to 20, maybe 30 if you didn't go upstairs. You don't know exactly
Aeris
how many people are up there.
Actually, going to ask him.
Yeah.
Approximately how many Hellriders?
Yeah, as he's probably 15 or so of us would be in fighting condition to storm or siege the High Hall. But that is more of Zafa's expertise in that regard, and I'm not sure what she has planned while I've been out.
Roughly how far is it from here?
If you were going to take a nice stroll,
the way the crow flies.
I would say maybe 15 minutes, but I doubt we could move that quickly through the city as it stands right now.
Spark looks over at Nafira as like, maybe send Vendetta out for recon?
Yeah, I can try to do that, and hopefully because Vendetta is a fiend,
You see, there's a slight what now? Just
familiar.
a slight, but he doesn't say anything. There's just a little eyebrow movement of just Vendetta's a fiend. It's fine.
Just casually.
Just casual.
because Vendetta's
How bad could it be if we even did mention the murders at this point, huh?
I mean,
Please don't. Can we please not?
They were in self-defense. That
At
was for a lot.
And cannot bring up in front of my dad.
We're gonna have dad
including
rules.
Luca.
So yeah, the second highest book count.
Oh my god. But yeah,
So, Vendetta's technically a fiend, so I can send them out, and maybe they won't be noticed so much. Or if they're noticed, it will be more. They won't realize. No one will realize that they don't fit in. Maybe, hopefully, but yeah, I can send out Vendetta.
that would any reconnaissance that we could have would be incredibly useful. So absolutely.
And because she knows I'm talking about her now, so Vendetta's head's gonna pop out of where she's just been kind of nesting in my dropped hood.
Nice.
Oh.
So
Vesper could join
head's a
too,
little poke out.
if that helps.
Sure. I think having I'm assuming Vesper's also able to fly.
Mm-hmm.
That could having two different aerial viewpoints could be very useful. Absolutely. But as you see that Darcy pokes just a little too hard.
Can do her work well.
This is always the worst part of fights. The recovering. Not as young as I once was.
We've had our fair share of close calls up to this point.
Yes, you were all fantastic warriors. So again, thank you for coming to my aid on the bridge. Honestly, I thought it was going to be my final stand, so I'm glad it wasn't. Still have more devils to kill, right? But, well, is there anything else that you need for the situation?
This might be in poor taste since we're going into a fight. Do you happen to have a spare set of plate mail?
You see that he looks around at some of the Hellriders that definitely won't be using any of theirs anytime soon, and is like, I think we can get you outfitted with something. That shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
Of course.
Sorry, just out of character. I'm happy Spark is at 20 AC.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Now Aeris has got to.
Keeping
Let's
pace
go.
with Aeris is climb of
Hey,
AC.
catch me at level 6. I'll be at 20 AC too.
Yeah, that's what I mean by keeping pace. Once Aeris gets another ABI, it's like, oh, my dex is capped. And since Spark has recognized Aeris' main tank, if we start finding magic shields, he's probably gonna defer to her.
Yep.
I didn't even think about magic shields in school.
But yeah, he's like, absolutely, we can get you outfitted in something a bit more protective. And of course, you see he like looks around, but sees that two of you are probably not heavy plate mail users, and Nefira and Pip, even though you're tiny, more so that just your class wouldn't need it. And he looks to Aeris, is like, do you also need plate mail, or are you content with your current setup?
No, I'm good.
I'm the only one here who doesn't rely on their reflexes to keep them safe.
Well, plate mail, you can take quite a beating. Just not a glaive through the chest, apparently. But...
Ouch! Okay.
It was an ouch. He got critted on.
Ouch.
He got critted on with a glaive through the chest. Big ouch.
And he's gonna have the stitches and the scar to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just the phrasing is just wonderful. He's like, oh yes, a glaive to the chest, and
Yeah. Casual.
like whatever Aeris is gonna do to him emotionally.
Yeah, as you all finish up this conversation, you see Darcy kind of finishes bandaging the wound across his chest. A classic of the across the
Anime.
chest bandage wound, yes. And you can see now that what you had thought had just been like more of a neck, kind of geometric neck tattoo is fully his entire torso and all the way down most of his arms. He is nearly completely tatted on the upper half. Gotta get that DILF, all right? Let's go.
Oh my
Gotta
That's
be
Ringo's
hot.
hotness with advantage this time.
No, we gotta go to 97.
97. I don't know if he can get much
Only
hotter.
Aeris can be 100. I'm sorry. I'm
Her
not
dad
giving it
can't.
to
Yeah,
him.
her dad can't be hot. He left. That's not allowed. It's got to deduct some points for that.
Okay, flat roll.
So we should talk with that short human woman who spoke with you earlier about what the plans for the siege might be.
Yes, Zafa. She'd be the one to talk to, and she's quite good at the more tactical aspect of everything. So I would definitely defer to her. She'd already been planning for a day or so now how we would attempt to siege the hall, and if you would all be willing to help, it appears we have a few more talents and different talents than we are used to as Hellriders, so that could be very, very useful.
Spark will take a moment. If Darcy's like done with immediate first aid on the room around her, it's like, could we possibly chat somewhere a bit quieter if there is such a space?
Who are you saying that to, Darcy or
To Darcy.
Um,
And he kind of gestures to his holy symbol. It's like, I'm guessing you haven't had time to meditate and try to connect with your deity recently.
No, it's been I don't know when I last slept. Yeah, we can go back probably somewhere in the main floor, I would assume.
It's might be worth it for more so you, but both of us.
Right. Actually, and you see she looks around, and you realize she is the only healer. She's like, actually, what if we just talk quieter and really far over in the corner? I feel I can't leave. I'm the only one who could possibly.
Understandable.
Right. So yeah, she kind of turns to the general and is like, "Sir, you're as bandaged up as I think you'll be all right." And he kind of like gives her a gentle like clap on the shoulders, like, "Thanks, Darcy. Well, if you two are going to have that conversation, I guess I will. Would the rest of you like to come and talk with fucking goddamn it? Hold on. I don't know why her name is like I can't remember her name. Zafa.
As you're looking up the name,
Spark is going off.
Sorry, Spark's gonna look over at Nefira, and Aeris is like, "You do have a solid idea of what I'm capable of, so be sure to convey that."
We will.
Sorry, I'm stepping off to the side, but
No, you do you. Get in contact with your goddess if you can. That's kind of important.
And Sparks, assuming Darcy's like already walked ahead and waiting for him.
Yeah, she's like putting away some medical supplies, and it looks like just
Her
clean up a little bit.
And he draws to your attention the crack in his holy symbol. I think I've seen similar stuff at the temple when people have either overstrained their relationship or are going away from the path. And her symbol looks like if she dropped it on the floor, it would shatter.
That is very much not good, especially when we're in hell and can use every godly help we can get. So,
Yes,
yeah, go take care of that, please.
Yes, hopefully it's something we both can deal with, since she seems incredibly overwhelmed here. And it's a panic I can kind of relate to at times when, like in the Duke's basement. But we made it through that day, and we made it through today.
So far.
And he'll
the day's not over.
And he'll go to be, hey, as far as he's aware, they're done with today. This is just the
That's it, day's over.
He's just like, we're going to sleep soon. Mm-hmm. It's just gonna be talking and figuring out what tomorrow is. Today's done. We're in pre-tomorrow.
Yeah, you can step off to the side.
Possibly ask for a restroom break?
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have you and Darcy step off to the side as far away from anyone else in the room as possible, as you see that Anatole gets up and starts heading up the stairs.
Aeris is gonna grab his hand.
Okay.
No.
Great.
No.
So then
I've waited long enough.
Yeah, so then that is where you, as he tries to stand and head up the stairs, you grab for his hand, and we'll take a bathroom break right there and come back.
Never mind, depending on how long Aeris lays into him and tries getting answers, Spark might be joining them for this meeting.
It's true. But yeah, you go to grab for his hand, and you see he does stop and turn to look back towards you. Cool. As everyone else is still there. I guess Spark has started to make his way over to the corner, so he's still in the room. It's not a super large room, but Pip and Nefira are definitely both right there. Cool.
Yeah, Aeris is going to say to her dad in Primordial, which sounds like a British accent, is just going to say, we need to talk alone now.
You see, he doesn't respond, because I can do that. He doesn't respond in Primordial. He just responds in Common, but he does know Primordial. So you see, he says, all right, we'll head up to the top floor. And, he turns to Pip and Nefira, is like, if you'll excuse us, I imagine we'll be back shortly. But feel free to start having that conversation with Zaffa or send out your familiar, as it were. He gives like a slight nod.
Nefira will definitely like narrow her eyes at him and just give him like, I see you.
All right, let me see.
And then we'll glance back at Aeris and be like, you're sure you want to do this alone? Like, you got this? Okay.
All right. So yeah,
call for us if you need us.
Anatole limps up the first flight of stairs to the main level, and then continues around the corner to the second flight of stairs up to the third floor. And I'm assuming you follow, Aeris. Yep. All right. So Spark is going to be, we're going to have everyone on different levels. The party is split. Oh no.
We're so split up. Oh no. And Darcy didn't even offer to heal me, so I'm still at 12 health. I'm kidding. Aeris wouldn't have taken it anyways.
Also, I don't know how much healing she could do right now. She's doing surface level
Didn't
healing.
even offer to put a bandage on my injuries.
Didn't even offer to give me a Band-Aid.
I'm actually not offended.
I need a Band-Aid and a lollipop.
Sorry, I am offended. Aeris is not offended.
I was about to say, blame that more on Spark.
I'm offended, Spark. No, I'm kidding.
So yeah, Spark and Darcy are in the basement at kind of infirmary level. Pip and Nefira, you all are up on the main level. And Aeris, as you follow Anatole up to the top floor, you see that this has a lot, it's kind of a hallway, there's a lot of rooms, a lot of the doors are open, but you see he leads kind of towards slowly, as he's kind of limping, and you can feel it now too, just the amount of combats you all have been in since you landed. You had a terrible night's rest before that.
That's true. I almost died.
You have some pretty aggressive scars across your throat as well from that nightmare. You see he leads you to a kind of like the far room, if you will. And there are, inside you see there are like 3 or 4 Hellriders that seem to just be sitting around resting. And as Anatole walks in, you see he kind of just goes, everyone out. And they fucking scatter. They almost like knock you over as they are in the rush to, it's like you go to step in the door right as he told everyone to leave, and they're just trying to pile through the door. Because when a general tells you to get out of a room, you don't want to be in that room anymore. You're going to leave as fast as possible. So he kind of turns and just looks and waits to see, leaving the start of the conversation to you.
Okay. Yep, Aeris has got her mage hand notes. It's ready. She's ready.
She has receipts.
Yeah.
So sorry for getting up. Minnie wanted to be let out.
You're good.
Wait, what's the furniture in the room? I got to figure out where she's gonna stand.
You do a backwards chair sit?
Yeah, right. You see that it does seem to be like most of the main furniture has been taken out. There's a few wooden chairs, a few like.
Oh, is there a table?
No table. There's
no!
Just a few wooden chairs.
I want to do the whole investigation thing. Here you go.
There's a few blankets piled in corners for beds. It seems much more like it was just being used for people to rest and sleep. Any table or anything like that probably has been moved to a different room. So.
Okay, I think she is going to, if there's a chair in between her and the general / my dad.
Sure.
She's gonna I think she's gonna put her hands on the back of the chair and in the
lean
same
on
way
it.
that you would put your hands on the table in the investigator things, where they're interrogating someone. Yeah, I watched a lot of crime shows growing up.
You'd be bad cop to your dad.
Bad cop to a good cop.
And I think she's gonna take a second because this is something she's been waiting for a really long time, I guess. And I think it definitely comes out less angry and just more really well, no, it's kind of angry, but it's also sad and hurt. They're just a lot of feelings right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna say, "Where were you? Why weren't you there?"
You see, he takes a big breath as much as he can with a chest wound. I realized after he did that, I was like, that probably fucking hurts. I had a feeling this would maybe come up after I recognized your name and I saw that you noticed. I didn't know. I didn't know until 5 years ago. Tabitha kept it secret from me, and by that point I thought it was too late. You're not allowed a family as a Hellrider. You're not allowed to have kids or a partner. And I wasn't always going to be a Hellrider. Tabitha and I, we were childhood sweethearts. We lived down the street from each other. We were going to get married and have kids, and I was going to be a blacksmith. We were just going to have a normal life, and one day I had this vision. I saw El Terrell and being dragged down, chains, fire, above a river of blood. There were people dying in the streets, being slain by monsters, no one to protect them. Everything just chaos, and I thought about it for weeks. And eventually I told Tabitha I wanted to join the Hellriders. And obviously, she left shortly after. I didn't know. So I had to make a choice between my city and my future before I even knew you were an option. So I'm sorry. I wasn't there.
But you found out 5 years ago. Why did you pick El Terrell first?
I had just been promoted to general. I don't even know why Tabitha reached out. Why she said something. I have a vow of loyalty to this city, to these people, and so I didn't say anything. I figured you had friends, and I knew how much Tabitha cared about you, and I saw Briar Glen. It's a cute little town. I thought that it would be better that you just didn't know. I didn't expect you to end up in El Terrell when it was in hell. That was a shock, to say the least. But
I think Aeris has probably started crying by now.
Yeah.
Because that was that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, But I needed a dad. I never had one. And I'd see all my friends with their dads doing things together. And where was my dad to spar with me and teach me what things were flammable or not? You know how many things I've burned?
You see,
the chair's kind of burning in
yeah.
his hand at the moment.
He gives a kind of like sad, like a laugh but still sad, but understands that kind of statement. It's like, I've always been a leader to people. I've always been someone they could count on, someone they could come to, but I didn't know. And I didn't.
But you did know. You knew 5 years ago, and you still picked Elturel first.
I swore an oath.
I don't care about the oath. It was clearly an oath to nothing. And Aeris is gonna leave because she's sad.
As you say, it's clearly an oath to nothing. You just hear kind of quietly under his breath. Trust me, that hurts quite a bit now.
Oh.
As he swore an oath to Elturel, and that doomed his soul. So he's going through it.
He's also having a day.
You know who's having more of a day?
We're all having days.
We're all having days.
Like I said, that glaive right through the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Round 2.
Aeris, as you head out, you can sense that he does not follow out after you and kind of just turns away towards one of the kind of boarded windows in an attempt to glance off into the burning rubble of his city that he sacrificed a family for. But yeah. What's Aeris doing as she's leaving this room?
I think Aeris goes down the stairs and she's feeling a lot of feelings, but she just feels really sad. So I think she's just gonna go find a place by herself so she can just have a cry. You attempt to find a spot, and it's more just like a corner. There's very little room in this townhome where there isn't always someone kind of nearby or walking by. But you do manage to find a kind of off the beaten path section where you can have that moment to just come to terms with all the information and all the feelings that you're currently feeling. All right. Who wants to be sad tonight? Who wants to be next? Spark or Pip and Nefira? We'll actually come back to Pip and Nefira because...
Yeah, I was about to say, depending on scenes, because there's still a chance that,
that y'all will
Aeris
be able to
can
join.
loop in with Pip and Nefira.
Yeah, I'd rather that. Everyone's there anyway. As Aeris is, as we cut in the movie fashion from Aeris crying, we pan down through the house to the infirmary, where you see Darcy is there putting away, some of the medical stuff that she had just used and going about starting another round of attempting to bring water or any medical aid she can to people. And she seems to be just waiting for whatever you were going to say as you wanted to initiate the conversation.
All right. How long has the cracking of your symbol been... Oh, sorry. I did manage to find the D4 and I don't need to almost drop it immediately. How long has the damage to your holy symbol been occurring?
Well, I think we've been here nearly little over a week, nearly a week now. So maybe 3 days in, there was a lot of fighting and healing, and I used a lot of my magic the first 3 days we were dragged down here, just trying to keep anyone alive that I could.
That's understandable. I'm not as magically gifted, but I'm down to just the light touch I can give, but it looks like you might be more familiar with what this might mean, but at least the few times I've seen that at the temple I trained at might be a sign that, and Spark kind of gestures to his, we might be being told we're pushing ourselves too hard.
She kind of laughs lightly. I didn't need my holy symbol to break to know that. I'm exhausted. But you've been here only a short while. Is that from what I overheard? You weren't here originally when the city...
Yes, like my friend mentioned, we stumbled across a conspiracy in another city that led us to become aware of what had happened here, and despite some of my friend's warnings, I pushed us to come here under a few conditions to see if we could give you guys some aid, at least let you know that there are people back on our home plane working to figure out how to get all of you home. Maybe if we have a day where our wizard can reach out, communicate to the people that brought us here to come in and evacuate the civilians and the critically injured.
That would be a godsend, honestly. You see, she kind of lowers her voice a little more, but I will not do that in case my mic doesn't pick it up.
Stage whisper.
Yeah. She lowers her voice a little more. It's like, honestly, I don't think I can keep too many more of these Hellriders alive past maybe a day. All I can do is make them comfortable, but they're very, very injured.
It looks like it. Spark matches her whisper, but again, stage whisper.
Yeah.
Looks like the onslaught's been never ending since it began.
I'm worried the siege that the general's planning, if that doesn't go well, I think we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Hopefully, my friends and I being not worn down as much will help. Will be the bit to tip the scale. Since I'm not familiar with the teaching of Aragon, and this is something only because it's close to the oath I swore to my goddess, we're an extension of their light. But as candles, we need to make sure we don't burn out ourselves.
You see, she kind of looks down a little bit at that statement and is like, "No, you're absolutely right. I mean, if I fall ill or there's very few other people that know basic first aid. You would think, right? We get an awful lot of fights, but you would think we would be a little bit better about healing ourselves, but apparently not."
You and I are perfect cases of we learned one skill set for that and didn't bother learning the other.
I severely regret it. But
and this is also a lesson my friends have been trying to drill into me too, since I imagine we have similar reactions to suffering around us. But like you mentioned, if anything happens to either of us, who will be there for tomorrow?
It's true. You see she goes and she gently puts her hand on your forearm and is like, thank you. I'm sure we'll get through this.
Yep. If I manage to come back with the siege with any juice to spare, I'll help.
I look forward to seeing you again. Do you and your friends need any, she like starts rummaging through the limited medical supplies she has, like, do you want any of this bandages or,
We have a few potions on us that we sadly can't offer since my Fire Genasi friend chugged, I think, 2 of those in the last fight.
No, to keep those, I'm afraid you will probably need them way more than anyone here.
I might need to hand one off to her since I think we only had 2 on us each, and she's the one taking the brunt of most of the enemy's focus a lot of the time.
Is that just a Fire Genasi thing? Because the general, he gets injured. It's incredible how often I have to bandage him up. I don't tell him I said this, but it's really impressive.
He's the only one I've known for a while, so I can't say.
All right.
I mean, do you know any others aside from your general?
Not close enough, no. But...
Come on, Dates, you can say that out loud.
Yeah, stop comparing me to my dad.
Keep comparing it to her dad, please.
No, it's amazing.
You know,
I love it.
Man, listen, if Spark didn't roll that,
he would know. But now he's just like,
yeah,
oh,
he
wow,
would know. He would
Fire
know.
Genasi's are accident prone. I don't know.
He's like, huh. Maybe it is a thing with Fire Genasi's. If I ever meet a third one who's an adventurer, I'll need to ask their group.
Yeah, well, definitely, I'd be interested in hearing your findings. But
True, but we both have to make it out of here alive. And Spark moves to gently place his hands on her shoulders. And please make sure you get enough sleep.
I will. After I do a few more rounds, make sure everyone's comfortable.
Make sure they're aware that you need sleep, and maybe if either of us actually knew first aid, we could possibly teach some of the people who wouldn't be in the first group to go.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, first aid by people who don't know how to do first aid, what could go wrong, right? It'd be fine. It'll be fine. I mean, but yes, thank you for taking the time to talk. It's nice to connect with another healer.
Mm-hmm. And maybe see if you can... Tonight I'm going to try reaching out to mine. Maybe touch base with your deity. Make sure... I guess here, if there's the slightest chance you might be off the path, or if they're just really strained with what we're pulling from them right now.
I think that could be very wise, so... Thank you. Did you ever give her your name?
He's realizing that now. I was like, oh, sorry. I was so focused on helping. I'm Spark Carpenter.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Spark.
Green Knight of the Goddess Maliki.
Not quite as impressive and formal, but just Darcy, Hellrider, follower of Bahamut, I guess. Well, I am, but I guess.
I thought that symbol looked familiar.
Yeah, it's a little broken, but
hopefully, with time, both of ours will mend.
I hope. But please don't let me keep you. I know you were supposed to be talking with the general about siege plans.
True, and Spark will turn and is like, Have Pip and Aeris left have Pip and Nefira left already?
Mm-hmm. I would say they probably left, like,
Yeah.
as you walked over to have your chat.
I'll go meet up with them and see what the plans for tomorrow are. And Spark will do, like, basically the equivalent, the whole, like, warrior handshake, but is, like, we're the battle medics.
Yeah, battle medic
Still
handshake.
respect.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Alright. Nat 20. Why are my dice like this? Why are my dice like, hey, these RP scenarios, you're either on point or you're not paying attention?
She might have a little crush on Spark. She
I can see that. Oh, I totally saw that. Not
Spark
at all.
And Spark is very aware of it in that moment as you do
he
this.
just kind of... May blessings be with you, and he just kind of awkwardly walks out of the room.
She watches you walk away for a little bit, and then her like panic of like trying to get everything together and keep everyone alive sets back in, and she goes back to doing everything. But I'm so glad you rolled so high on that.
His eye charisma is played against him.
Good thing Nefira wasn't there. Darcy would have been dead.
You say that like Spark isn't gonna be like, oh, whoops. This is something I'm gonna have to diffuse to Nefira to brainstorm.
Okay, but to be honest, I have zero idea how Nefira would react to that.
We're gonna find out then, I guess.
You're
We're
gonna
find out.
Oh, man.
He's also gonna probably ask Aeris because he's like, yeah, he's pretty sure he's seen both of them turn guys down back at the village.
How did turn?
Has Aeris turned anyone down?
I don't know. Has she?
I don't know.
Nefira has
Punching someone in the face down is turning them down.
Yeah, right.
Wait, are all of us very little to no experience? Of course we are, we're friends.
Fucking nerdy friend group. Never been on a date.
Listen, you know those types of people congregate together with no outliers.
Yeah.
So, Sly, you're gonna find that out real fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, Spark's gonna move to go to where the meeting is and meet up with Pip and Nefira.
Okay. I'd say, just for ease, we'll say Pip and Nefira, you came upstairs. That conversation wasn't super long. And unless there's anything you two would be saying to each other, just waiting, you notice that you actually look in where you had seen Zafa kind of turn before. Every time I mention her name, Tay just shakes her head every time.
I hate her so much.
Eris' mortal nemesis right now.
Her mortal nemesis, just a Hellrider doing her job. Just a little bit of a little rude, but But yeah, you look into where this kind of like war room meeting area is through an arched doorway, and you see currently there seems to be one other Hellrider that you haven't been introduced to yet or anything, going over, just making some marks on the map, but you don't see Zafa there, so that way, as you all are kind of just waiting, if there's anything you two would like to talk to each other, your RP, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll, skip to where you two see Aeris come down the stairs, but walk by you and go find a corner. And then probably a little bit after that, you see Spark come up the stairs. How red is Spark?
Not as red as when he and Nefira returned to Aeris' apartment together, but kind of red and clearly flustered.
Mm-hmm. All right.
First, Nefira is going to cast Message again because I remember that I have that spell, and send it to Aeris and be like, hey, how'd it go? Are you okay? Do I need to go beat him up for you? Like, what do you need right now?
I don't think Aeris is gonna say anything back.
Oh,
She's
no.
so sad.
You need to at least let Nefira know if you need space, or she will come find you.
Aeris probably would absolutely know that,
Yeah.
given how the whole nightmare.
I know
Aeris would know. So Nefira's just like, what do you need? What can I do to help? Like, what happened? Do I need to go kill him for you? Like,
Aeris doesn't want to, like, she doesn't feel like talking? Dang.
but like, it's...
Yeah.
I know, it's I'm trying to figure out what she would do, because, like, I think she would find a way to tell Nefira that she wants some space. If she knows that Nefira wouldn't pick up on the fact that her not responding is her saying she needs space. So maybe she would just, like, send Vesper over. To, like, maybe she would, like...
Okay, that's on me.
Write a piece of, like, write it on a piece of paper and send Vesper to send that.
So, yeah, Nefira, you send this message. You see Vesper, who was near you, sitting on a chair, away, and then fly back about 30 seconds later, clutching a little rolled up, like, piece of paper, and drop it in your lap. And what does it say on it? Just need space?
Space. Just space, yeah.
Just space. All right.
I would just nod, and then, okay, wait. I'm not gonna I'm gonna use space, but I'm also gonna send Nefira's own love language. So I'm gonna send Vendetta
Aeris has
back
message
to
too.
you with... What would I give to Aeris? What would Nefira give Aeris?
A stone, a pebble.
Yeah, I was thinking just like a cool rock.
Cool rocks are cool.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So Nefira's gonna
Say a cool rock.
I don't know.
rock.
I would hope
Hand it
that
to
anyone in
Vendetta.
this party would like cool rocks, like, or cool rock
Absolutely.
party.
Yeah. That's my first thoughts. I'm like, is that Aeris? Okay, good. It is Aeris. So just send Vendetta to you with a cool rock.
Awesome. People are ducking as two larger birds of prey keep swooping through this townhome.
They can duck. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
There's a duck?
Yeah. There goes Pip looking for ducks.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so the three of you, minus Aeris, kind of reconvene. You see that you do not see Anatole anywhere, and you see that Zafa come walking from one of the other rooms in this townhome. It's a lot of, like, rooms connected in little hallways. It's whoever designed this townhome. Wild. They didn't do. It's an interesting one, but you see her come.
How would anybody live in this kind of space? It's not laid out well.
Yeah, Spark is just like carpentry. I don't like it. The carpenter, whoever built this house. But yeah, you see.
Man, they must have not had any good wood and had to build around small pieces.
You see Zafa kind of walk in from, not by you all, but from another side, and start quietly conversing with that Hellrider that was going over the map of Elturel on the table. So you're free to see that as the three of you are there.
Sorry. Zafa's back in the room now, right?
Yep, she's back in the room, and she seems to be having a little quiet, planning conversation with one of the other Hellriders that's in the room.
Spark will just try to, like, stand in her field of vision, but not approach as a I'm next in queue.
Mm-hmm. You see that. Hold on, let me think of timeline of what Zafa would know. I think. Okay. I had to think of my own fucking... I was like, when did she talk to Anatole, and what had you told him before she had talked to him? You see that she eventually looks up and sees the three of you just kind of like standing in the doorway. Spark waves again.
Whenever Spark waves, Pip looks at him and looks at her, and he's like, "Who is that? Do you know her?"
Oh, but I figure there was some tension earlier, so I figure being kind will help break that.
Okay, I do have to ask now, because does that count as
Spark trying to de-escalate. Spark.
Oh, shoot the bingo!
Yeah, Spark's.
Well,
I would say this
think I
counts
keep
as
track of
Spark
it.
trying to de-escalate a situation.
I would imagine. Yep, that does count. But yeah, you see, she looks towards you all and gives you kind of like a get in here head nod, indicating to come on. Even though the room's open, like it's just an open archway, but indicating to come on over to the table.
We're here to make it known that the forest gremlins will be available in help with the siege.
All right. So,
And
what skill sets y'all have?
I'm a wizard.
Wizard. All right.
I'm a rogue.
Rogue.
Paladin.
All right.
And
the
our
general's
friend
kid?
out there.
What did
Wait,
she
what?
say about?
Wait,
She
what?
said the general's kid.
Spark kind of double takes, like, wait, what?
General has a kid?
Wait, that's Aeris' dad?
Aeris?
She just looks at all of
Amira
you
just
so
crosses her arms
confused.
upstairs.
So confused, as she thought that was, common knowledge that she got looped in on. She's like, all right, yep,
Wait, she can tell the fear in those, though, right?
yeah, yeah, but she's
They're
just
just,
looking
like,
back and
cracking her
forth at these two, like, all right, yeah. The
The
other fire
the low
genasi. The other fire genasi was her skill
Right,
set.
sorry. Fighter with a bit of magic.
All right.
Takes notes a lot. She's really good at that.
She's an investigator. And a
Okay.
good one, too.
All right. Don't think we need anything investigated. We could use some sneakier people. She kind of like glances over at Spark and
Spark kind of points at Nefira. Spark kind of holds up a magic item he has. Is like, I have something to help make me create less noise.
That's very fucking useful. All right. Well,
Yes, it hasn't been incredibly useful since I've gotten it.
that's magic items. Can't always rely on them. Anyway. All right. So, looking here, you see she kind of like puts her hands down and like flattens out the map a bit more. And as you look over, you see it's like your classic battle map that you would see in a movie or TV show. There's like little circles and like lines drawn of like where you expect to have people come in. And she's like, we don't know exactly how many devils or whatnot are outside the High Hall. Certainly don't know how many have made it within. The cathedral's got a ton of rooms and is quite large. But I think so. Our first priority is to figure out the layout of the courtyard, how many devils are there, and if we'd even have a chance with the number of Hellriders we have. So if we could have someone sneakier that could get over there, give us a look. We're not exactly the stealthiest of a bunch of people. We'd prefer just go in and hit hard, so.
Well, first
Oh, wait,
I'm gonna send my familiar.
Nefira, where's Vendetta?
She'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna send my familiar out to do a quick scout. And Aeris' familiar will probably join her.
All right, that's good. Does it fly?
Yes, they both do.
All right, that'll be good. Though watch out, there are quite a bit of flying devils as well. Wouldn't want your familiar to be taken out.
My familiar is a fiend, so I'm hoping it'll provide at least a little bit of blending in.
Oh, sorry, Nefira, thought. So we don't potentially lead them here. At a certain range, I've seen Pip do this a few times. You can make your familiar poof away and then reappear where you want.
Yeah, we can
Maybe
do
on the return, once they're in range, have Vendetta do that.
that. I will.
You see that Zafa kind of nods, like, yeah, tactical. Fucking like it. All right.
Listen, I rolled an in check to see if Spark would make that idea.
Remember
And
that?
again, the dice are like in RP. You're either on it or you're not.
Mm-hmm. You see, she's like, all right, well, I mean, if your familiar is good to go now, the sooner we can get that information, the better. The more time we'll have to plan. Do you want to get your friend?
Would Vendetta have come back?
I would imagine Vendetta would have come back by that time. Just quick,
Okay.
Go over, drop off. It's not a super huge, building, and you were all waiting a little bit while Aeris was off on the side.
All right, so I would write a little note, basically on the back of Eris's note to me. I'll write a little note and then send Vendetta back with it to Aeris, just telling Aeris, hey, I'm sending Vendetta out. If you want to send Vesper, now would be the time. Just a little note, letting her know. And then have Vendetta just go straight from delivering the note to going out.
Sweet.
Aeris does not send Vesper out.
All right. Yeah.
Vesper's your emotional support familiar, and you need them right now.
You need Vesper.
Yeah, so you send Vendetta out. Are you going to kind of zoom into Vendetta's eyes so you can get a better picture of the layout and not just rely on Vendetta to describe it to you? Okay. So yeah, you kind of zoom into Vendetta's eyes, and you know from doing this once or twice before that you can't hear or see anything other than what you could hear or see through your familiar when this happens. And it takes a good about 5 to 10 minutes to actually get to the High Hall, even flying, as Vendetta's staying pretty low to the buildings to avoid, being seen by anything above, and if anything's below, doesn't matter. But as you're doing that, you see that in front of you, there's this cliff-top castle that you can imagine was once the crowning architectural jewel of Elturel. 3 of the 5 watchtowers still stand, though they appear to be abandoned. The wooden gates that once led into these castle grounds have been shattered, leaving a gaping hole in the wall. You can see that the west side of the castle has been reduced to a pile of smashed brick and broken wood. The surviving buildings are blackened by soot. At the center of the castle grounds, you see this cathedral that you imagine is the High Hall, just from what you've heard in passing of people talking about it. And you see in front of it, in the courtyard area, there looks to be dozens of fiends that roam around. From this vantage point with Vendetta, you can see what you mark as bearded devils. You see a few spined devils, imps. You see a few hellhounds. But there are probably upwards of 30 to maybe 40. You're not entirely sure, as Vendetta's kind of doing this circle over devils that are just lingering outside in this main courtyard in front of the High Hall. And once you see that, you can choose to, come back out of Vendetta and just tell Vendetta to return, or wait for Vendetta to get back, either one.
I would probably pull back and just summon Vendetta back.
Cool. So yeah, that is what you see from your vantage point.
I would relay this to, talking loudly enough for the Hellriders to hear, but I tell it to Pip and Spark.
Mm. Oh,
Because I'm with
no,
Aeris on
that's-
this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no, Aeris is not okay with these people. Neither am I.
Oh,
Being very
that's
cold to them.
that's a lot of devils out there. The hounds have me worried, given how that one put us in such danger last time.
You see, she like looks over as she was calculating up something. She looks over at it last time and is like, "All right, well, we have, I think at last count, maybe 22. Could push for 26 Hellriders that would be able to be part of the siege, but I think
Well,
a two kind of prong approach. The main Hellriders kind of we could distract, and if a smaller group could sneak into the high hall and bar the door behind them, it would give you more time, and if no one realized you were in there, that could be useful. Is your group up to being kind of stealthy and infiltrate?
Try.
Yeah,
Can do that.
most everybody else is good at it, and Sparky touches his bracelet, and I have something to help close the gap with me.
All right. Well,
Also, I'm an apprentice for this really cool and powerful wizard. And she sent me a message today. I mean, it wasn't a message, it was a different spell. But it was she said that anything that we need, information or items, is ours. She's gonna contact me again tomorrow, but I can contact her first. Actually, no, I'd have to sleep first. But
And it's probably best if
if there's
you
anything, we can ask her, maybe.
go into the siege full steam.
Yeah, we will
Absolutely.
definitely need time to rest and recuperate before we try this.
yeah. Well, this is. Thank you. This is more information than we had before, and I think we can start formulating a bit of a plan. Well, probably confirm with the other one of your group. Make sure that you're all on board with this. Let me know. I'll be here somewhere for the rest of the evening. Take the time to rest. We won't be able to start anything probably for another, I don't know, 10 to 12 hours. Just as there are some of us who decided to go and nearly die on a bridge, and they also probably need to heal, so before we do anything.
Yeah, I wasn't able to bring him back up with much beyond what he came here with.
Hey, you brought him back alive, so that way I could fucking yell at him, so that was good enough for me. But yeah, alright, I'm gonna take care of this. Do you all need anything? Just find any room, blanket, find it, sleep it, claim it. Don't worry about taking any watches. We've got a pretty decent schedule going right now, so. I don't think we have any. We might be able to spare one. Yeah, we can find you some rations. I'll figure it out. I'll talk to someone.
We have ourselves covered.
All right,
We
hey,
came with some preparation.
more than we had. All right.
We knew what we were walking into, and
I didn't. I woke up. It was a Saturday. I wasn't even supposed to be on duty. It's crazy. All right.
Spark has a spell.
What?
Spark has a spell for food.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
I also know a bit of druidic arts.
Yeah, good berries. All right. You know, it's desperate times, but I'd rather not give someone that as their final meal before maybe dying. So,
Wait, but there's no taste.
no, they are real bad. And I doubt they'll look. All the food we've had in hell has just tasted like ash. So that might also be worse. I don't know. Appreciate it, but I think we'll just stick with our rations. But hey, feel free to use that for your group if you so desire.
You also probably want to speak with your commander. There's some context for what happened that Saturday morning that he has,
All right.
and it's kind of sensitive.
Yeah, I will. Good to know. I'll go talk to him next time I see him. Next time I run into him. But is there anything else y'all need, or am I good to get back to?
Good to get back. We'll go confirm, and if you don't hear back from us, assume all of us are good.
All right. Well, get some rest. Thank you again, and cool. And she just like starts turning back, and she starts having a conversation with the Hellrider next to her. Just logistical, like, all right, we need this many of this, we need this many of that. Who is going to be leading what squad? And it immediately goes over your head as to, whatever tactical stuff they're talking about.
Sparkle, as the three of them are leaving, kind of turned to Nefir. It's like, wait, when did you learn that the commander was Aeris' dad?
You didn't see that whole exchange when they...
No, I was too busy.
That's what that was?
I'm sorry, I was
didn't know that.
too busy taking
maybe
everything else in this home.
I caught it, but I didn't say anything yet because I didn't know if Aeris wanted to say anything. She clearly wasn't sure how she felt, and then she went and talked to him, and now she's not here, so clearly it didn't go well.
That explains enough.
Mm-hmm.
I might have an adequate distraction. I think I might have had that cleric down there develop a crush on me by accident, and I need to know how to turn her down without it hurting.
I love that this is like right
Can't
outside.
be hurt if she's dead.
Like,
right outside the planning the war room. It's just like, hey,
they're walking and talking.
Down?
They're walking and talking, and he's whispering.
Okay, all right.
I tried to help. I think the way I tried to rekindle hope in her might have gone a bit too far.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Oh my god, I'm really in a novella right now. I'm fangirling so hard. This is great. Keep going.
I figure you and Aeris might know how to do it gently.
Yeah, those two really smart. Those two know how to let someone down gently. That's the last people I would go to ever.
Just I don't even know if I've let someone down yet. I'll roll for it. I just don't know what to roll for.
Listen, you could argue this is a low whiz moment, but he is mentally scrambling because it's just like, no, what, no.
You just told me the truth.
But I just gave this person hope. I don't need to immediately crush a section of it.
Yeah. You hear Pip going just tell the truth.
I mean...
Honestly, Spark, I have no idea how to deal with something like that. You're the only person to ever have shown interest like that in me, ever. And... I've never approached anyone before about something like that, so I don't know. You're kind of on your own there, man. Just don't be stupid about it.
I'll try not to be.
Tell the truth. I mean, that's what I do. But I mean, I've never had anybody be interested in me like that before, so I don't really know. I never had to turn anybody down. That's probably what I do. I don't know.
Oh, yes, I can probably do that after she's gotten a night or two of decent rest. I'll see if Aeris agrees with that. And hopefully it won't come up if I assist in the infirmary.
Don't assist in the infirmary, and thank you for telling me, and just avoid her when possible.
Just don't. Just don't go near there. Actually, just don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
Didn't.
Why are you worried she might put me in a compromising situation.
Are you gonna let yourself be put in a compromising position?
If I see it coming, no.
Okay. Then. Okay.
And if I find myself in one suddenly, I'll try to get out.
Please do.
Wait, this kind of stuff comes up in those books Aeris likes, right?
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it probably does.
I don't know. They sound really boring. So
Based off of the
I wasn't
books,
paying much
Aeris
attention.
would say, "Yeah, can't be hurt if she's dead."
Oh my god. But yes, the group will go and find Aeris. I was like, I'm assuming if Aeris would have told him she wants some space.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll be like, Aeris needs some space, so we'll give her some space, and
I'll go let her know where we're going to be so
can
she
send
can
her a
find
note.
us.
I can send her a note with Vendetta again. Do not
Okay.
disturb her. And we'll go find a spot and make sure we leave a spot for her.
Alright.
Yeah, so as you send your note off with Vendetta again, turning the familiars into just a postal service.
They might as well be pigeons.
Yeah, just some carrier pigeons. And you're kind of directed by some of the other Hellriders that notice you're kind of looking around, being like, where should we like kind of set up? They kind of point you upstairs and give you like, pick one of the rooms on the 3rd floor. You'll see there's like bedding, and feel free to crash in there. Aeris, you get the note telling them, or telling you where they'll be, so whenever you feel like going, you can join them. What's going through Eris's mind is she's just kind of had time now to start to come to terms with what she learned.
Yeah. Well, obviously she's very sad and hurt, especially because she knows that like her dad did know about her, and that he like still chose El Terrell, and there's very much this part of like her mind that's going that like the nightmare Dendar, that she was right, that no one picks her first, and she just has this like it's just kind of like those words since you know that was only last night are very very fresh in her mind and are very very fresh still. And she's also thinking a little bit about how her mom kept it a secret, and how then she reached out to him and let him know. So she's got some questions about that. Definitely wants to investigate that further. And she also thinks the fact that Hellriders can't have families is like the stupidest thing ever. Didn't know who was in charge of that and why he didn't change it when he became a general, her dad. And she hates Hellriders now. She hates them.
Fantastic. All
She
right.
does not want to help them at all.
Great.
I have in her notes, I hate Hellriders and they are the worst. 3 exclamation points.
But if you
Well, that
mention
is-
that at all, or even get so much as give off the impression of that, which like you already have, like as you do that more, Nefira 100% on your side. Hellrider's dead to her. Nope.
Nefira's ride or die.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Spark is
Nefira-
gonna have
I
a
said
rough
since
time.
Session 1, Nefira
keeping
is
the
a
party
ride or die
civil.
Friend.
But yeah, as you're thinking this, do you continue to kind of stay separated from the group, or do you eventually head up and find where everyone else is resting? Or
I
how
think,
long
like,
do you wait? I guess I
yeah.
would imagine.
Well, definitely cries it out, and then like sits there a moment, being sad. Then she's gonna go join the Gremlins.
Okay.
But first, she's gonna find some alcohol.
Hell yeah.
I was debating her having just another mystery glass of whiskey in her coat, but I was like,
The new horror
Hey,
phase
you
is
know
past.
what? Give me an investigation check.
okay. All right. 1 second, I have to add my modifier. Oh, good. 16.
16. You realize that when you were kind of talking down in the infirmary, there were several suspicious bottles of what's probably the equivalent of vodka. It can be used as a disinfectant. And you're like, there might be some down there. I could either snag it or ask Darcy for some. But you're like, I at least know there's some there. You're not really sure. You haven't seen like a kitchen situation in this house yet, but the entire house has just been turned into random rooms, so you're not even really sure what was a kitchen at one point. So yeah, you know there's some vodka-esque clear grain liquor down in the infirmary at the very least.
Cool. I'm gonna go take some because
All right.
I don't like Hellriders, and I'm not gonna ask.
Cool. Yeah, are you trying to be sneaky about it, or are you just gonna grab it?
No, she's gonna take it. I don't
She's
care.
just gonna look Darcy dead in the eye where it's
Yeah.
like, hi,
Yeah,
wanna go?
hi.
yeah. You see that as you go to grab it, you see Darcy looks at you, and for a split second, you can see her like just calculating what to say, and then she goes, "There's an unopened one under one of the cabinets. Probably want that one instead."
Oh my god. Good, because I was ready to be like, yo, Darcy, this is flammable. Like, I don't know a lot of things, but I know that this is flammable.
Yeah, nope. She just the one you
great.
grabbed was like, a little over
Maybe I
half
like
full.
Darcy like a little bit. She's okay. I made her cry, so I won't hate her too much.
That's fair, you did. Yeah, so you take this unopened bottle of clear liquor, and you see Darcy kind of just turns and starts arranging things like, I didn't see that, as you head up to the Gremlins.
Cool. I'm gonna drink.
Hell yeah. Are you drinking straight from the bottle?
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah.
Get it, I guess. I'm literally in hell, so...
And I think that's where we will end the session tonight with Aeris coming in, swinging the door open, straight from the bottle, drinking some, what you can only assume is alcohol. You could smell, it is like the bottom shelf vodka. That shit smells so aggressively. And yeah, we will say that you all can get a long rest. As you all spend the evening, and we can also RP if you have anything else next session, but you will get a long rest before
the raid if Aeris doesn't
fight someone. If Aeris doesn't fucking fight someone before.
Hey, Zaffa can catch these hands.
And she probably will.
I would love that as an end, cutscene is actually just the two of you duking it out, getting all your.
I haven't got to use my little spiky gauntlets yet.
I know. But yeah, that's we'll end there with the Gremlins all back together in a kind of smaller room off to the side, plenty of blankets and stuff to take a long rest.